Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.
Most women are now struggling with loneliness as men continue to go their own way. Today's video comes from Ham. Her channel will be linked in the description so that you can go and check her out. Watch to the end of the video to fully understand the implications of so many women now revealing how lonely they are as men increasingly continue going their own way. Also, don't forget to follow us on Rumble because you never really know what can happen on this platform. Our Rumble is linked in the description of the video. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
I'm making this video not really for you guys, whoever's watching this. I don't know who's watching this. Haha, not for you. No, I'm kidding. Well, it's not really for other people, but I guess if someone's going through the same thing, maybe this can help. This is more for like me in, I don't know, a few months, a year, like years, hopefully not decades. If she has an answer by then, maybe she can look back on herself, her young self, and think, oh, like, I was so anxious and worried back then. It all turned out fine. Let's hope that it turns out like that. But yeah, I think the main thing that is the top of my mind and that I struggle with a lot is loneliness. And it's not like I don't have friends. I mean, not to flex. No, but like I think a healthy amount of friends, like try to go out twice a week, play games, like grab food with people, go into office often, social interaction, talk to my coworkers, call my family really often, like spend time with my family. And it's great. But I can't help but feel lately, you know, it's cuffing season, it is what it is, lately, that I'm still lonely. And I don't know. For context, earlier this year, I had gotten out of a long-term relationship that had made me very unhappy. And I felt that it was the right decision to end that relationship. And when I had gotten out of that relationship, just the euphoria, just the breath of fresh air, the independence, the happiness, the time I had for myself, for my friends that I had when I was just out of it was like amazing. And at that time, I thought, I can be single forever. Like, this is what single life is like. Like, oh, I don't remember it being this good. This is easy. And there I was, working on myself in therapy, spending time with my friends, family, doing my hobbies, getting educated, working on my career. And yeah, I was fine for a while. But sometimes when you go out, have a fun night with your friends and like you're laughing and it was great, it was fun. Sometimes when you go home at night and you lie down in your bed all alone, it hurts. And as much as like I love my friends to death so much, they just don't really fill the same void that a partner does. Like, yeah, it's just different. I think that a healthy dose of, you know, self-love, and enjoying your own company and working on yourself can coexist with the natural human need for companionship and to want to love and be loved. I think that they can coexist. And for a long time, I was one of those assholes. I'm sorry, but like I was one of those people whenever my friends were like feeling like lonely, like, oh, like I really wish I had someone right now, I would just be like, you know, you have to learn how to be happy by yourself, and then the right person will walk into your life. They'll come when you're ready. It'll happen. But like now, like Loki, that's like bullshit, because some of us are gonna be alone forever. Like,
So guys, this holiday season, Angry's Crypto Academy is running a Christmas promo to help you start 2025 strong. From now until December 31st, you can get 20% off annual paid subscriber plans, and the bootcamp membership is also 20% off. If you've been waiting to level up your crypto game, now's the perfect time to invest in yourself. Click the link in the description below, grab your membership, and let's make 2025 your best year yet. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you inside the Academy. Beyonce helped to destroy the lives of an entire generation of women with all that single ladies BS, making songs like You're Replaceable. It was very interesting. And then, ironically, many of these same women then went on to get married, have a ton of children, and watch from the sidelines as their husbands returned to the streets from whence they came and cheated on them. And they could do nothing about it. You see, guys, modern women, they were out there spouting all of this single nonsense and vitriol, and now the piper is coming to collect. I've said it countless times that women are not designed to live without a husband. And I see the simps in my comments. That's why they're called simps. Say that that's not true. They know plenty of older women who are single and they're doing just fine. These are lies. These are men who know nothing about women. You have to basically observe women very carefully. Women cannot be alone. They can only talk, they can only kind of fake it. They'll say, oh, they don't have a codependency, they don't need anyone, and all this other stuff. They're just copping out. They're just lying to themselves. I'm single, I'm independent. Look at all I've done. Look at all the hard work I was able to do. I was able to make, install this drywall myself and all this other stuff. They don't enjoy doing that stuff. They really don't. The average woman does not enjoy doing that stuff. They might feel a sense of accomplishment after, doing something like that, but it doesn't last long. For us as men, we enjoy doing that stuff because it's fun for us. For women, most of them doing that stuff do it because they want to compete with men and feel like they are just as capable as men or better than men. So when men do stuff, we're not really competing with anyone. We're just enjoying ourselves. If we build a deck, we're not building a deck because, we want to compete with the neighbor next door. We're building a deck because we enjoy building the damn deck. If we work on cars, we're not competing with the guy down the road. We're basically working, or the mechanic shop so that we can say, look, we're mechanics too. No, we're doing it because we want to, work on a car and create something for ourselves and then enjoy something. That's it. We're not basically trying to flex on anyone. With modern women, it's just a constant war of them trying to flex on men.
It happens. It's life. I agree with some of it. Like, obviously, like a relationship isn't gonna fix all your problems. If you have a lot of insecurities and you have a lot of issues, like, that person isn't gonna fix it. But like, we're fucking lonely here. like I do a lot of solo traveling, right? And I think it's wonderful and it's amazing to be able to see all these beautiful things. And I think that when I solo travel, I meet a lot of people that I wouldn't have met if I was just like with my friends, for example. And those experiences are extremely rewarding and those experiences are very enriching. But sometimes when I see some beautiful scenery, like I see something beautiful, I capture it with a camera, and that helps preserve the memory. But I usually think to myself, dang, I really wish I had someone to share this moment with, and I really wish that it was someone that I loved. Oof, girl, not like this. Yeah, just someone to share the memory with. I just think that it'd be more beautiful watching with someone else. So, yeah. I've stuck my hand into the fire, and I've been burned a lot in dating. But that doesn't mean, like, I'm not broken. Like, I haven't given up on finding love, like, dating. But I think that it's hard. Dating people is hard. Understanding people is hard. Yeah, I don't know how to make peace with that. Maybe the answer is it's just a part of life. Life isn't supposed to be sunshine and roses, you know, like it actually kind of sucks. But yeah, I just don't know if it's just me who is feeling this way. Maybe it's the hormones in the water, like in the milk. But I don't know if Matthew Hussey, if relationship coach, I love his videos. If he's watching this video, can you drop the answer in the comments? Or like anybody who has advice, like maybe drop it in the comments below, like and subscribe. Yeah, but for the time being, I just need to reflect some more, think some more. Yeah. How does one come to terms with being alone? I'm not sure, but maybe I'll have the answer someday. So, yeah, that's about it.
Let me ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that could make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom. It's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional, it's critical. The link's in the description. Go check it out now. And female friendships, they are fickle. Female friendships are very, very fickle. Oh, everyone is my friend. But again, women have very few, very close friends, even though they may have a lot of friends that they hang out with. There's a video I actually stumbled upon by Lana Blakely. Her channel will be linked in the description so you can go check her out and enjoy her content. And she basically talks a bit more about this, the lies of female friendships, competition, and jealousy, because that is something that exists extremely among women in Western society. So, a woman without a man, the closest person to a woman will often be her husband, her partner, who will be there for her through thick and thin. While a lot of women may have plenty of friends, they have very few actual friends that they can rely upon. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this video because I want to just look at this a bit further and analyze this a bit further. Women really are not doing as well as they make people believe. They're facing extreme hardships going forward, as roughly half of them are going to be childless and single in just the United States alone in a couple of years.
There are clever ways and not so clever ways to gossip. The clever way would be to say something like, "I'm so worried about Agnes's drinking. I genuinely hope she doesn't end up losing this job as well." A non-clever way would be to say something like, "Did you guys hear Agnes has started drinking again? Guess it's just a matter of time until she gets fired." I'll explain that more in depth later in this video, as well as female competition, jealousy, and more. But to get there, let's first take a look at how we got to where we are. The first half of this video will be based on this article, Our Grandmother's Legacy, Challenges Faced by Female Ancestors Leave Traces in Modern Women's Same-Sex Relationships, and then I'll share some of my personal experience. Throughout most of human history, women have heavily depended on their male romantic partners for the survival of not only themselves, but of their offspring. Naturally, other women were their primary competitors, as each woman wanted to secure a committed, high-earning partner, as an impoverished man meant lesser chance of them and their offspring surviving. Now, men experience competition too, but women feel especially competitive, jealous, and experience distress when it comes to looking attractive, since this is what men throughout history have valued the most in women. In other words, it wasn't just women that felt threatening, but attractive women in particular. So generally, women from a young age prefer not to be surrounded by friends who surpass them in physical appearance. And if we look at two female friends, the less physically attractive friend is more likely to have a heightened romantic rivalry within the friendship. And so attractive women show a heightened preference for gay male friends, in part because they perceive gay men as more likely to provide honest and helpful romantic advice than other women. Now I want to chime in here with a quick anecdote. So once upon a time, I was living with a bunch of models, like actual working models, all incredibly gorgeous. And prior to moving in, I hadn't seen them, I just knew they were models, but I did feel intimidated. I had this preconceived notion that they just wouldn't be very nice. Well, actually, they were the nicest group of girls that I had ever lived with, and prior to that, I had lived with other, normal-looking, average-looking girls. Anyway, I can tell the full story of that another time if you're interested. Now let's get back to this article. Now, as women, we might not only be threatened by other attractive women, but also by women who signal sexual openness. This is because, in short, across cultures, men are more likely to commit infidelity and to engage in casual sex. And so when other women, dress provocatively, for example, we might respond with more hostility and rude comments than we would if that same person was dressed more conservatively. We're also less willing to introduce a woman who exhibits cues of sexual openness to our boyfriends. Now, this holds true even when it's not in person. So women who are exposed to attractive fashion models who, assume flirtatious and sexual openness, they experience heightened jealousy about their relationship and feel compelled to derogate and ostracize those models. Now, this suggests that female psychology is well designed to detect and thwart threatening same-sex rivals from undermining their partnerships. Now, although to most people today, at least in the West, losing a male partner isn't typically detrimental to our survival, the historical cost of losing a male partner, and therefore our own and our children's access to resources and survival, is still deeply ingrained in us. Whew, I kind of feel like I need some therapy after all of that.
Guys, if you think you've missed the boat on Bitcoin, think again. The crypto world is exploding. with new opportunities. And while Bitcoin has already made its millionaires, there's still a chance for you to get in early on the next big wave. I've put together an exclusive guide on 4 altcoins that could change the game and change your financial future. These aren't just hype coins. These are real projects with groundbreaking technology and massive upside potential. This is your chance to get in before they hit the mainstream. But listen, crypto isn't just about getting rich, it's about freedom. Freedom from traditional banks, freedom from government controlled money, and freedom to take back control of your life. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy. When you join the academy, you'll learn everything you need to know about cryptocurrency, how to buy, sell, and trade the right way, how to spot the coins that can truly take off, and how to use crypto to achieve real economic freedom. And here's the best part. When you subscribe, you'll get a free copy of my crypto blueprint. This is packed with valuable tips and strategies to help you get started, and it's yours just for joining. The link is in the description below. Don't wait around and miss another opportunity like Bitcoin. Those who act now will be the ones who win big. So if you're ready to take back control of your finances and start your journey to freedom, join Angry's Crypto Academy today. Let's make it happen. And this is where it's landed things. Guys, half of all women between the ages of 25 and 44 will be childless and single come 2030. That's a lot of lonely women. That's a lot of childless women. That's a lot of women that are going to be stuck by themselves, and they have no one else to blame for the situation because they chose to be Miss Independent. They said that, hey, we don't need no man. We don't want no man. We're going to do it all on our own. And now look at them. They're alone. They're miserable. And they have no one to talk to. They're like, oh, I feel completely engulfed in this relationship. I want more time for myself. I want more time for my friends and all this other BS. And they're the same people that were spouting the right person will come into your life when it's the right time. And then they end up single and now they're miserable. And, they're not there for their friends all the time. They're, it's a thing. It's crazy. And now this woman's crying. This woman is absolutely in tears because she took it for granted not having a man in the home. Guys, for us as men, we can live alone and we live in peace and we have our dog and our dog is our best buddy. Dog is laying in the spot where the woman would lay and the dog is happy. Dog is eating. Dog is living well. All right. We replace the woman with the dog and we live happily with our dog. And some of us don't even need the dog. The woman, on the other hand, women are different. It's not so easy. They get scared. They don't have a man at home and they get older and the world is volatile. They have no one to turn to. They have no one to ask for an opinion. They have no one to lead them. Men are designed for leadership. Women, I'm not saying women cannot be great leaders, but men are designed for leadership. Women are designed to be helpers and followers. And when they don't have a man in the home to guide them, to lead them, to advise them, it feels unsettling. When they don't have a man in the home and they hear like a strange noise, they are not predispositioned to go to walk towards danger. Men are. Okay? There's no man in the house. They have no one to talk to. Go talk to your friends. But those friends aren't always available. And as life passes, as life goes on, people drift. And they end up losing those friends and they end up in a place where they're like, they have no friends. And all they do is front. It's so hard. Women seldom will admit to their wrongs, admit to their follies, say they screwed up. This young lady cannot admit that she messed up. She basically threw out a very good man, and now she's alone. And it's going to be extremely difficult to replace that man. And the thing is that they're like, yo, these men are replaceable. Don't this, don't that. No, guys, most 90% of men are no longer dating. You have Gen Z women on social media that are crying that men aren't dating them anymore. Okay? It's strange. It's very, very strange. We have a lot of simp fathers who they told their daughters to go and get these college degrees, these master's degrees, these PhDs, and then their daughters end up lonely and single. They're like, oh, we have this daddy-daughter relationship. But they didn't encourage their daughters to settle down and find a good man when they were young. They didn't do any of these things. There's a lot, and I've seen these guys in my comments before that, and they come to my comments and they talk a lot of nonsense. And they're like, Angry, you don't understand. You know, when you have a daughter, it's different. These guys are such jokers. I'll tell you what ends up happening with a lot of these men who do these things and say these things. Their daughters end up lonely. Their daughters end up covered in tons and tons of amounts of personal debt, student loan debt. And these same fathers are then like, we can't help you. I'm sorry, sweetie. I don't have the money to help you. And then a lot of them end up deleting themselves. I'm so serious. A lot of these same fathers who were irresponsible and told their daughters that they were perfect and that they were princesses and that they didn't need a man and they should just focus on school and education and being a powerful boss babe, because many of these men raised these women to be boss babes as well. When their daughters are now struggling in life, they turn around and tell their daughters, sorry, daddy can't help you. And then they self-control alt-delete. These men are a complete joke. And you can't really talk because they're simps. They're simps.
Across ages and cultures, women, girls have been much less physically aggressive than boys and men. And this, according to this article, is because historically, women did not want to risk being physically harmed or worse, put their child at risk. However, women are equally, if not more likely, to engage in indirect aggression. So what is indirect aggression? It's basically the attempt to disrupt a person's social opportunities and relationships using tactics such as, spreading rumors and gossiping and disclosing secrets and ostracism. And it's usually quite effective, since we tend to dislike people who we have learned negative information about, especially if that information comes from multiple sources. It's believed to be more credible. And as women, we do experience social exclusion more frequently, as well as online rumors and cyberbullying and so on. Now, while hearing all of this might make you want to sign up to therapy, and you should, go to betterhelp.com/Lana, us women are also each other's biggest allies. We highly value our same-sex friendships and we strongly desire intimacy within these relationships. And women, more so than men, experience high levels of worry and distress about potential friendship abandonment or replacement. See, historically, having strong relationships with other women also meant survival, both for oneself and for one's offspring. Women relied on midwives and, the whole it takes a village thing. We also know that social support is strongly linked to better health and increased longevity. Another thing that I found to be particularly interesting when I read this article, perhaps because I hadn't really, thought about it before that, was the part that discusses how women, relative to men, were more strongly prefer equal distributions of resources and power over unequal distributions. So for instance, among children, girls are more uncomfortable than boys when selecting group leaders. In adolescence, girls are more distressed than boys by friends surpassing them in popularity or close friendships, and we assume successful or popular females to be entitled. Popular girls are often disliked, ridiculed, ostracized, and women more often fear that their female friends' admiration will turn into envy or resentment, and so they minimize their successes to avoid coming across as proud. Now we see this desire for even distribution across the board, and here are some examples. Both women and men preferred male over female leaders. Women expect female leadership candidates to perform worse at their job and less likely to be promoted. Female employees report more support from their male than female supervisors. And there's much more. Even within sports, where competition is, the explicit goal, female athletes show less positive or friendly behaviors towards the opposing team following a match than do male athletes. So what do we seek for in our female friendships? It seems that women strongly prioritize kindness in their same-sex friendships, and compared to men, we hold higher expectations for our friends just overall, especially for trust and empathic understanding, loyalty, and commitment. And we tend to have a stronger desire to support or to provide support and reassurance to friends in need. And girls and women who don't support their friends tend to have fewer friends. And this standard for kindness is especially high for popular girls because otherwise they might be perceived as threats. Compared to men, we are also more likely to question our friendships if they do not live up to certain standards or signs of devotion, such as friends who, cancel plans, fail to stand up for us, or disclose our secrets. So basically, any cues of disloyalty. And now, touching on jealousy, girls report stronger jealousy over their friends' relationships with others, along with heightened monitoring of their friendships. And a similar pattern is observed among adults, with women feeling immense jealousy over their, best friends forming a new and potentially more intimate relationship with a same-sex peer, in part because we fear that our friend is now going to tell this new friend our secrets and potentially ruin our reputation. Now, this might all seem quite conflicting, because there are incentives to compete with other women for high-quality romantic partners.
Let me ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that could make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom. It's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional, it's critical. The link's in the description. Go check it out now. And you cannot really talk to them about it. I have seen only a handful of men who've ever said something along the lines of, they're fine with their daughter marrying an older guy as long as the man treats them well and can take care of them and provide for them. And they're based and they understand the reality of the world. A good son-in-law can do a lot for you. A good son-in-law, if you have a daughter, one of the most important things that you're looking for should be a good man to take care of her. A lot of these men, and I understand I was a simp once, we were all simps once, but as knowledge comes along, we evolve. And then you have the simps that refuse to change, that refuse to evolve, because many of them have an agenda. And then when life completely collapses, a lot of them, they hit the panic button and then they hit exit and they leave someone else to pick up the pieces. And many young women like this, they have plenty of friends, but very few actually good friends. They're fronting and they have very little of actual real value because women are just not the same when it comes to budgeting like men. Men are designed for budgeting, men are designed for scarcity. The average man can live happily in a shoebox at the side of the road. The average woman cannot. Women are not designed for hard times, but men are. We are designed for hard times. We are designed for, harsh situations and harsh realities. It's just the truth. We are designed for this. Women are not. Women struggle with these things. And you're going to have a multitude of women who are going to be hollering and screaming and crying and filled with misery as now they're entering into their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. You're saying 60s angry. Guys, the first of Gen Z are going to be turning 60 next year. You need to wake up and realize it. And so many of these women are now single, they divorced, or they never married. And there's going to be guys, they don't have what the boomers had. The boomers are the fastest generation of homeless people. They're the fastest group of homeless people growing in the US right now. The boomers. And, these Gen X women, they were out there playing around for decades. And now there are consequences and they're going to have to face those consequences. And many of them are not going to be able to do it. And it's like, that's why I said accountability it's going to be a nightmare for them. It's going to be an absolute nightmare for them when they are forced to face accountability. There's not going to be any big bailouts, guys. Many of you are like, it'll never happen. They'll always be bailed out. The government will always bail them out. Guys, Project 2025 is real. Elon, Vivek, Trump, they're going to be cutting a lot of the fat. A lot of people are going to be losing access to food stamps. Medicaid fraud. Guys, you have Elon in there. Elon is basically the fox got into the hen house. All right? He is 100% like Trump's shadow right now. He's the shadow. Everywhere Trump goes, he's there. Okay? And the Republicans in the House and the Senate, they're salivating right now over all the different programs they can cut. Because now Elon and Vivek, they're going to be, they have all of these top thinkers who are heading to Washington. There's one guy on here, clear value tax. This guy wants to go join Dodge as well, the little troublemaker. I don't see him smile very often. He doesn't smile very often. He's like, I'm going to tell you how it is. I cover his videos sometimes, but you could see the Kool-Aid smile on his face discussing his Dodge application. He wants to go wreak havoc. All of these bad boys and girls want to go wreak havoc in Dodge. Okay, Department of Government Efficiency. They want to cut everything. Guys, it's like, I'm telling you, when they start cutting the fat, when they honestly start cutting the fat away, from all the government spending and everything, it's like they're going to cut the fat. And it's like, imagine the fat being, you have an entire pig, right? Imagine you have an entire pig and they start cutting all the fat away. And then the only thing left is the size of an olive. Everything else was just fat. The vast majority of the pig was just fat. And the only thing left over now is that we actually need that has any real intrinsic value is the size of an olive. That is basically government right now. That's government. Where when they start cutting the fat, you had something like a budget of, 1 trillion, $2 trillion, and they cut the fat. And now we're like operating on like 33 billion, 33 to 50 billion. And even then Elon is still saying that there's too much in there. We need to do better. Look at what he did to Twitter. Look at all the fat that he cut at Twitter. And they're like, oh, Twitter's going to start falling apart. You know, Elon can't run Twitter. This guy builds rockets that can land themselves. He builds self-driving cars. He builds robots. Okay? What the hell has he not built? And you think he can't figure out a damn search, well, correction, a damn a social network? You've got to be kidding me. He cut all the fat on Twitter. Twitter is now X, and it's running better than ever before. And you have all kinds of new features where you can broadcast yourself. You have conversations. You can have people can listen. So guys, this holiday season, Angry's Crypto Academy is running a Christmas promo to help you start 2025 strong. From now until December 31st, you can get 20% off annual paid subscriber plans. And the bootcamp membership is also 20% off. If you've been waiting to level up your crypto game, now's the perfect time to invest in yourself. Click the link in the description below, grab your membership, and let's make 2025 your best year yet. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you inside the Academy.
As well as incentives to form strong bonds with other women. And so ideally you would, get the benefits of male investments as well as female cooperation and support. And now this article did point out one tactic, if you will, that is sometimes used, which can be deceiving. And that was what I was talking about in the intro, namely how you appear to others. And so, for example, you can gossip in a way that appears kind and sympathetic, and that can actually get you to be more liked simply by wording it in a way that does not appear malicious. And now this article ends with explaining how women are often more aggressive than they themselves believe that they are. We often self-deceive our vicious motivations. So in other words, we may actually be unaware of our involvement in gossip and relational aggression because we truly believe that we are speaking out of actual concern and sympathy for our targets. Now, I will of course link this article below. I really recommend that you read it. It was really interesting, and I could only talk about parts of it here, otherwise this video would have been way too long. Now, while reading this article or, listening to this video, parts of it can be quite uncomfortable, right? I mean, like, no one wants to believe that they ever put other women down or that they are malicious in any way, and we don't want female friendships to be portrayed in a negative light. Now, the article in itself, of course, is not suggesting that we are all a bunch of highly competitive, jealous, gossipy pricks, but it does shed some light on some of the things that I believe many of us have experienced. And it's interesting learning about where certain behaviors might stem from, and most importantly, to hopefully detect some of these behaviors in ourselves and work on them. Now, I myself have personally absolutely experienced, jealousy, sabotage, ostracization, and at the same time, I absolutely cannot with a clear conscience say that I myself have never taken part in those things. Of course I have, especially when I was an insecure teenager. I think we all have. And now I think we all have, but to different extents. And I think that's important. So there's a big difference between, oh, I was a bit of a prick when I was 16 because I would be jealous of the most beautiful girl in my class, and I would secretly be afraid that my boyfriend would want her more than me, versus I'm a grown adult woman and I can't stand seeing beautiful women and I actively, secretly try to put them down. There's no historical or biological excuse for being a prick. And now I would like to share with you some of my personal experiences when it comes to female friendships, specifically some of the common traits of female friendships that fizzled out versus some of the common traits of friendships that remained. And now I want you to share your experiences in the comments as well, because I would love to read it. Now let's start. Okay, so let's begin with the common traits of friendships that fizzled out. The emotional dumper. You know the type of friend who genuinely has no interest in you. You meet up, you spend the first hour listening to them vent, and then in the midst of it, they kind of realize that they should probably ask about you, and so they say, anyway, how are you? And you feel like you have about, I don't know, 15 seconds to word vomit until they lose interest and start talking about themselves again. They ask for your advice, that they never take by the way, and they need someone to complain to, and that person is you. Hooray. The friend who hates your happiness for no reason. I strongly hold the belief that good friends are people you are excited to share good news with. The opposite of friends who will find faults in anything you share. They supposedly get a bad vibe from your new boyfriend despite never meeting him. They criticize your promotion and try to give you a reason not to be excited about it. Eventually, you stop feeling like sharing good news with them. And then you stop feeling like sharing any news with them. The friend who is in a constant state of crisis. There is always a crazy story to tell, some drama they somehow got themselves involved in, and oh, they did not respond for a week because they lost their phone, and now they need to borrow some money from you because they spent it all on a night out and they did not think about the fact that it would cost money to take a cab home, and they flaked on your plans. Again, even though you were literally standing outside the bar, waiting for them. The male-obsessed one. It seems like they value nothing more in life than male validation. Anywhere that you go, it's so that they can meet cute guys. All the clothes that they buy, it's to make the boys stare. And they don't mind glancing over your boyfriend once in a while and joke about stealing him. But hey, it's just a joke. The bad influence. When you're simply not better or thriving in any capacity with them, perhaps you become more superficial, you drink more, you make careless decisions.
All of the changes that Elon has brought are pretty substantial. They're pretty significant, and it's only going to keep on growing from here. So, I mean, you have to realize that he's going to be cutting away a lot of the fat, and it's going to be so substantial, so substantial. A lot of these government workers are going to lose their jobs, and who makes up the vast majority of government workers? Women. So you're going to have so many lonely, so many single women that are miserable and hollering and screaming, and they're not going to have any man. They're not going to have a man to save them, a man to rescue them. Okay? That's the truth. These women are going to experience something that most women have not experienced before in their lives. Consequences. And the loneliness is going to affect them much more than it affects men. As you know, once men learn how to control their lust, they quickly realize just how boring, most modern women are. They have nothing to talk about because they expect men to bring all the value to the relationship while they take all the value from the relationship. And once you control your lust, you're like, yeah, this wasn't worth it. There's nothing here for me. She doesn't cook. She doesn't clean. The physical intimacy is garbage. Why am I even here? And she's spending all of my money. And at any given moment, she can just make something up and destroy my life. Why am I here? It's basically, you're a manipulated man. And that's why 90% of men are no longer marrying, no longer dating, no longer having relationships. I've said this already. Said it already. I'll say it again. The MGTOW is completely won. It doesn't matter the fact that they've banned most of the MGTOW channels on this platform. It doesn't matter. They won. They 100% won. Because that's what most men are doing naturally now. And then when they go looking for answers, they'll come across MGTOW or MWA. And, like I said, MGTOWs, they've taken themselves out of the ball game. They've taken themselves entirely out of the sport. They're basically like, we don't want to have, they've separated themselves socially, financially, and economically from the state and relationships. And they have no interest in being engaged with either. And there's no way of bringing these people back. Oh, we're going to basically, if you want privileges, like, oh, if you want to play video games, you need to go and get married or have dates, or we're going to charge you bachelor taxes. Guys, if they charge bachelor taxes, men will pay the taxes or refuse to pay the taxes, but they're not going to get married. No man in their right mind is going to get married. They're just basically going to pay the taxes and fight over it with Congress and stuff like that. But no man is going to get married overpaying a bachelor's tax. Only a fool would do that. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of fools out there. But when 90% of men are no longer dating, 90%, you've got to know it's bad. And you might say, well, why is it that most women are not single? You know, it's quite simple because most women now are dating the exact same guys. Chad and Tyrone have multiple girlfriends. Okay.
And yes, you are responsible for yourself, but I would steer clear of people who encourage and celebrate poor decisions. The seriously fragile friendship. I've had best guy friends, best girlfriends, and in my experience, generally speaking, the guy friends felt more reliable. You know, after an argument, I had no fear of the friendship fizzling out, or if they were going to start distancing themselves from me now. Is it fixable? Am I still invited to their birthday? Will I now be ostracized in school? Whereas with guy friends, I didn't have those.
Let me ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that could make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom. It's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional. It's critical. The link's in the description. Go check it out now.
Concerns, it always felt more stable, more like a sibling type of relationship where you just know that you can show up and you can call and an argument doesn't change anything. As the saying goes, if it's fragile, let it break. Different morals and values. It's important for me to note that not all friendships fizzle out just because, you know, something serious happened or because someone is a bad person. Sometimes you just no longer see eye to eye. Sometimes you come to learn that there are some differences between you two that are too important to ignore. So let's say, for example, that you really value working hard, discipline, self-improvement, personal growth, education, and they have no interest in any of those things, and they might be very interested in other things that you don't value. So this type of misalignment could be a call for a friendship breakup. Now, some common traits of female friends that I still have in my life. We genuinely like each other. I can genuinely sense that they are happy for me, and I'm equally happy for them. I want them to do well. I want them to be happy, and when they're not, when they're hurting, my heart aches, and I want to help them. And when they light up, I light up. There is a mutual, deep caring for one another. There is consistency. They're not going to disappear for a while and then come back, and I never have to wonder where we stand, you know, if we're still friends, if they still like me, if they're sad or mad about something, or if they're not telling me, because I know that they would tell me and I would tell them. If there's ever a disagreement, we will air it out, and we'll move on, and it's just easy like that. There's nothing to be gained from one another. There are no disingenuous incentives. I don't need them for anything. They don't have money or connections or followers or clout or anything like that that I could benefit from. I am with them and they're with me purely for who we are. It's, as Aristotle said, or called it, the perfect friendship. Now, when it comes to female friendships or other women in general, there's one piece of magic that I admire so much about us, and it's the unspoken language that we share. So here comes another anecdote. One time I was at a dinner type of thing with a few other people, and some were single and some were coupled up, and I was there with a guy that I had been seeing for a while. Let's call him Simon. So Simon particularly enjoyed making condescending jokes about me, preferably in front of others. And on this particular evening, as we were all gathered around the dinner table, and after one too many condescending jokes that no one but him found to be funny, I felt hurt, and so I became distant. Anyway, so everyone was chatting and eating and drinking, and Simon was clueless, or he just did not care, and so I sat there mostly quiet, and then I looked up, and I was met by the eyes from the girl sitting from across the table, and I did not know her very well. And we exchanged a look. It must have lasted a few seconds, but it was enough for her to let me know that she knew, and I knew that she knew. She wasn't clueless. A girl that I barely knew made me feel more seen and heard in that moment than that guy who supposedly loved and cared for me so deeply. I absolutely adore how us women seem to be able to communicate almost telepathically, how we can communicate with just a look, a tap on the arm, a one-worded text, how we move a bit closer when we see a woman walking by herself at night because we know that it might provide a sense of safety and comfort. How our eyes automatically search for another woman when we're on an empty subway at night, and the sense of relief when we find it. The familiarity in an unfamiliar female face. As women, we do that for one another, and we don't even have to ask for it. And it's so cool. And it's one of those things that makes me love being a woman.
Okay? And this is a pattern that we've seen throughout history. Over the course of history, only around 30 to 40% of men actually reproduced, while over 80% of women reproduced. Now, do you really think the reason why only 30 to 40% of men reproduced was because, all of the men were being hoarded? All of the women were being hoarded? That's not entirely it. Now, don't get me wrong. There were a lot of men who had resources and hence they had a lot of women, but that's not the reason why so many women reproduced versus men. The truth is that a lot of men chose not to reproduce. Most men chose not to have children. Most men chose not to have a wife or a relationship or a partner. Most men abstained from relationships and physical intimacy because they did not want to face the consequences of a relationship with a woman. Guys, the average man was poor historically. Throughout the course of history, most men were poor. So you might say, well, that means that's why all of the women were deviating to wealthy men. That's BS. Most women were poor. These women were finding, men who just could basically give them a roof and food and shelter, and basically clothing on their back. And they weren't given lives of luxury. And they were grateful for that because back then a woman could not survive without a man. And women today still cannot survive without men. Men pay 80% of all taxes. Women make 80% of all consumer purchases. If men opt out of society, it's over. Over the course of a woman's life, she will leave a deficit on the economy. Over the course of the average, that's the average woman. Over the course of the average man's life, he will leave a surplus. So basically, women will take more money on average out of the economy than they put into it, while men will put more money into the economy on average than they will take out of it over the course of their lives. But if men stop working, which is what they've done now, over 30 million men have opted out of the workforce, and it's been growing rapidly over the last couple of years. That 30 million figure was almost 2 years ago. All right. It was somewhere between 30 and 35 million men, 35, somewhere between, it was right around 33 million, more or less. That's 2 years ago. All right. I'm going to be honest. It was around 33 million. All right, guys, if you think you've missed the boat on Bitcoin, think again. The crypto world is exploding with new opportunities. And while Bitcoin has already made its millionaires, there's still a chance for you to get in early on the next big wave. I've put together an exclusive guide on 4 altcoins that could change the game and change your financial future. These aren't just hype coins. These are real projects with groundbreaking technology and massive upside potential. This is your chance to get in before they hit the mainstream. But listen, crypto isn't just about getting rich, it's about freedom. Freedom from traditional banks, freedom from government-controlled money, and freedom to take back control of your life. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy. When you join the academy, you'll learn everything you need to know about cryptocurrency, how to buy, sell, and trade the right way, how to spot the coins that can truly take off, and how to use crypto to achieve real economic freedom. And here's the best part. When you subscribe, you'll get a free copy of my crypto blueprint. This is packed with valuable tips and strategies to help you get started, and it's yours just for joining. The link is in the description below. Don't wait around and miss another opportunity like Bitcoin. Those who act now will be the ones who win big. So if you're ready to take back control of your finances and start your journey to freedom, join Angry's Crypto Academy today. Let's make it happen. But that was like 2 years ago. How many men do you think it is right now? The frightening truth is that when you factor in the number of men that are also choosing to work less, significantly less, and that as a result, it honestly, that are actually pulling down the workforce, it may be closer to 50 million, 40 to 50 million men right now. And that number is only growing rapidly as more men wake up and realize it's just not worth it. The juice is not worth the squeeze. Women are crying all over the place that they cannot, specifically Gen Z women are crying that they cannot find a man, and that these men are no longer interested in physical intimacy. Most young men today are no longer being physically intimate with a woman, and modern women don't know what to do, because if they don't have that, if they can't use physical intimacy to hook a man, to leverage that, then they have nothing. These are not feminine women. They don't cook, they don't clean, they have nothing to offer. And they took the whole boss babe nonsense. And I've talked to Soraya. I've spoken about this issue before. Soraya knows my views on this 100%, that you cannot turn a masculine into a feminine. If Soraya wants to go and take their little money, she can go right ahead and take their little money. But you can't teach these women to be wives. You can teach them to play pretend, but they will never be feminine. They will always be masculines. Okay? You cannot, a woman, I'm trying to look for the right way of putting this. Just like being a man is being a man, being a woman is being a woman. Masculinity is something that is a part of us as men. Femininity is something that is a part of a woman as a woman. Even if you're a weak man, you can still strive to be masculine. You can still be attracted to masculine men. Well, I know, and when I say I'm attracted to masculine men, many of us are attracted. Doesn't mean that we want to be in a relationship or be physically intimate with the individual, but we are attracted to men who have masculine traits. We're attracted to strong men. We want to be like them. We'll break down into tears because when we see a strong masculine man, there's something inside of masculine men that attract masculine men to other masculine men. It's a, I had a conversation with a masculine YouTuber years ago. Like he's a one of the strong YouTubers, like very, very popular. And he talked about, like, he went to like a club or something, and like the bouncer started breaking down and going crazy over him. And it's like, it's interesting seeing like a giant guy like that become like a little schoolgirl when he sees him. It's the truth. Look at Joe Rogan. Like, Joe Rogan, it's the exact same. You've got these big, strong men that break down. They'll break down into tears because Joe Rogan represents masculinity. Okay? And you have these big men that become like babies around Joe Rogan. Oh my gosh, it's Joe Rogan! Oh my gosh, he's so masculine! Guys, it's the truth, though. It's the truth, So it's like, just like you cannot turn if you're a man who values masculinity, it's something that you will deviate to, even if you want. It's a part of you as a man that you're drawn to it. Women, on the other hand, modern women are not drawn to femininity. They are not feminine. They are masculines. They are drawn to masculine behavior. Okay? You might say, well, that means that they would be drawn to masculine men. No. A lot of them are drawn to simps because they are masculine in their mental state. When men are masculine, we are drawn to masculine things, and we're drawn to also masculine men. I know you're like, what? Yeah, we're drawn, but not in a bad way, but it's like we're drawn to men who are masculine. We're drawn to other masculine men that have the traits that we have and that we want to have. All right? What masculinity in women looks different. They are drawn to, boss babes and these other types of women that have these masculine traits as well. But I want you to understand, they're basically repulsed by masculine men. So they don't like us. They basically want us to play the role of the feminine, but then at the same time, they want us to also take on the responsibilities that they would have to take on, such as providing and protecting. They'll sit around saying that they're boss babes, but they don't bring anything to the relationship. And a lot of them have nothing of real value. It's a sad reality, but it's true. And women did this to themselves. They chose this reality for themselves, and now they're going to have to live with this reality. Most women are now struggling with loneliness, but they chose this loneliness for themselves. And men are not going to be coming to the rescue to bail them out of bad decisions. It's like, ladies, congratulations, you played yourselves. It is what it is. What do you guys think regarding all of this? Most women are now struggling with loneliness, and they have no one to blame but themselves. Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, and walking away. And cheers.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.